Heartstrings and hard truths. Two tales of conflict and consequence. Life is a messy tapestry of choices, emotions, and expectations. The following two stories, drawn from real-life experiences, dive into moments where personal values clash with societal norms, revealing the raw undercurrents of human behavior. These narratives aren't just about conflict. They're about the courage to stand firm, the pain of rejection, and the power of accountability. By weaving in emotional depth, cognitive biases, and provocative questions, these stories grip you, challenge your assumptions, and leave you questioning what you'd do in the same situation. Buckle up. These tales are equal parts heart-wrenching and thought-provoking, designed to pull you in and keep you thinking long after the last word. The misunderstood blanket picture. This. You're broke, barely scraping by, but a major family event looms large. For Alex, that event was his sister-in-law's baby shower, the first child born among his siblings, a milestone draped in expectation. Financially strapped after unexpected car repairs ate up his savings, Alex faced a dilemma. The baby registry, meant to guide gift-giving, was picked clean of affordable items, leaving only big-ticket purchases, $100 strollers, cribs, and car seats, far beyond his reach. Most would panic or opt out. But Alex, a skilled knitter, saw an opportunity. He turned to his yarn stash, dedicating nearly a month of his scarce downtime to crafting a deep navy blue baby blanket for his new niece. It wasn't just a gift. It was a piece of his heart, stitched with care. To round it out, he added a few small items, pacifiers and tactile baby books, hoping to make a meaningful contribution despite his circumstances. Work kept Alex from the shower. Double shifts don't bend for family gatherings. So the following weekend, he swung by his brother's place, arms full of his handmade creation and modest extras. His sister-in-law, Emily, barely glanced at the blanket before thrusting it back at him. "It's the wrong color," she snapped, deeming navy blue, a boy's color, unfit for her daughter. Alex was stunned. The rejection wasn't just about the blanket. It felt like a dismissal of his effort, his time, his care. Swallowing his frustration, he left the smaller items and later gifted the blanket to a friend with a newborn boy, turning a slight into a small act of kindness. But the story didn't end there. Days later, Alex's brother called, relaying Emily's demand for a proper gift from the registry. The blanket? It didn't count. The pacifiers and books? Also irrelevant. They expected more. Something expensive. Something they'd explicitly requested. Alex pushed back. He'd poured weeks into that blanket, sacrificing 90% of his free time between grueling work hours. Another blanket wasn't happening, and the registry's remaining items were financially out of reach. The family piled on. His mom scolded him for ignoring the registry, insisting immediate family should splurge. His dad mocked his knitting, questioning why a grown man would bother. Emily gave him the cold shoulder, her silence louder than words. Even his brother, torn and apologetic, urged him to just give in to keep the peace. Alex held his ground. To him, the blanket wasn't just yarn. It was a symbol of love, creativity, and resilience in the face of hardship. Why should a generic, store-bought item trump that? The situation exposes a raw nerve, the entitlement baked into modern gift-giving culture. Registries, meant to simplify, can morph into mandates, stripping away the giver's agency. Emily's rejection reflects confirmation bias. Her rigid vision of a girl-appropriate gift blinded her to Alex's effort. Meanwhile, the family's pressure reveals social proof bias, where conformity to tradition, buy from the list, overshadows individuality. The controversy here is electric. Are we obligated to meet others' demands, or does the giver's intent hold more weight? Alex's story challenges the sanctity of registries, daring us to ask why a $100 gadget is better than a handmade treasure. It's a middle finger to consumerist norms, suggesting that true generosity lies in thought, not price tags. For anyone who's ever felt unappreciated, Alex's defiance is a rallying cry. Your effort matters, even if others can't see it. The smashed Xbox parenting is a high-stakes balancing act, especially in blended families where loyalties and emotions collide. For Mark, A father navigating his teenage son James's turbulent anger issues, one explosive moment tested his resolve. James, grappling with trauma from the past year and attending therapy, clashed with his tween stepbrother, Ethan, over a classic sibling issue: control of the living room TV. Ethan was deep into his Xbox game when James stormed in, demanding he vacate the space so he could watch a movie. Mark, overhearing from the kitchen, stepped in, firmly telling James to use his computer or wait his turn. James, already on edge, erupted, shouting about fairness. Ethan, emboldened, mocked him, echoing Mark's words. "Yeah, stop it, James." What happened next was chaos. A crash echoed through the house. James had hurled the Xbox and TV against the wall, shattering both. By the time Mark and his wife rushed in, Ethan was in tears and James was nowhere to be seen. The destruction wasn't just physical, it was a fracture in an already fragile family dynamic. Mark's response was decisive. James was grounded indefinitely, his summer plans canceled. To regain his freedom, he'd have to earn enough to replace the TV and buy Ethan a new game, either through a job or monetized housework. It was a punishment rooted in accountability. Actions have consequences, and James needed to learn that. The fallout was immediate. James's biological mother, Mark's ex, called the punishment harsh, accusing him of favoring Ethan over his own son. Mark stood firm, believing that coddling James would only deepen his anger issues. But the incident left Ethan shaken, prompting Mark to consider therapy for him too, to navigate the toxic ripples of James's outburst. This story is a gut punch, laying bare the complexities of parenting a troubled teen in a blended family. James's reaction screams loss aversion. Losing control of the TV felt like a personal attack, triggering a disproportionate response. Mark's punishment leverages reciprocity bias, tying James's redemption to tangible amends. Yet the biomom's objection raises a thorny question. Is strict discipline the answer, or does it risk alienating a struggling kid? The controversy is raw. How do you balance love and accountability when a child's pain spills over into destruction? Mark's story resonates because it's a microcosm of every parent's fear. Failing to guide a child through their worst moments. It challenges us to rethink discipline, suggesting that consequences, while painful, can be a path to growth. But it also warns of the cost. Push too hard, and you might widen the rift. For Mark, the smashed Xbox isn't just a broken console. It's a call to confront the deeper issues tearing at his family. Why these stories stick? These tales aren't just dramas. They're mirrors reflecting our biases and battles. Alex's blanket saga exposes the tyranny of expectations, questioning why we let registries dictate generosity. Mark's family crisis forces us to weigh discipline against empathy, asking how far we should go to teach accountability. Both tap into framing effects. Is a blanket wrong or unique? Is a punishment harsh or necessary? They pull us in because they're relatable, flawed, and human. The controversies, defying gift norms, enforcing tough consequences, spark debate by defying easy answers. They remind us that life's toughest moments demand courage, whether it's standing up to entitled family or holding a teen accountable. These stories don't just entertain, they provoke, urging us to question what we value and why. Conclusion: own your choices. Life doesn't hand you a script for handling rejection or rebellion. Alex and Mark faced moments that tested their principles, forcing them to choose between conformity and conviction. Their stories teach us that decisions, however messy, shape who we are. Whether it's crafting a gift from the heart or setting boundaries for a struggling child, the boldest choice is the one that aligns with your truth. So when life throws you a curveball, ask yourself, will you bend or will you stand? These tales prove that sometimes the hardest path is the one worth taking.